Hi, my name is Professor Machan from the Department of English at the University of Notre Dame. It's my great pleasure to congratulate Maj-Britt Frenze, PhD from the Medieval Institute here. I've known Maj-Britt for quite a few years. She was a student in several courses, including the England and Scandinavian Middle Ages, Language and Society in the Middle Ages, and Medieval Multilingualism. I've also known her for her participation in the medieval seminar we run and in Bad Medieval Movie Night, as well as for a legendary field trip to Chicago in 2015 for some graduate students to see an exhibit on the Vikings. Most recently, I've been fortunate to be a member of her dissertation committee. Maj-Britt's dissertation is entitled Nature and the Supernatural in Medieval Romance, Translation and Transmission in England and Scandinavia. But before saying something about that, I want to say a few things about Maj-Britt herself. She is, first off, among the most linguistically gifted students I have worked with in 35 plus years in the profession. She has solid skills in Old and Middle English, Old Norse, and Old French, and that kind of range these days is rarer and rarer. Beyond that, it is the kind of range necessary for the beginning of all credible scholarship. The ability to read texts in the original, to know firsthand of the original's contexts and nuances, and to situate arguments within primary texts. Her Old Norse skills are particularly uncanny, and on more than one occasion she cited something from Old Norse that I'd never heard of and had to look up to make sure I knew exactly what it was. Along with these linguistic skills, Maj-Britt has an interest in and sensitivity to multilingualism in general, and in particular to the multilingual background of a lot of medieval literature. She understands and can act upon real textual traditions without falling back on generalities about what texts or languages do in the abstract. As I say, this kind of linguistic knowledge, crucial as it is now unusual. Maj-Britt has applied these skills to a novel project on the supernatural in medieval England and Scandinavia, but with nods of necessity to the continent as well. Her focus is the romance genre, broadly understood, and her interest is not simply in showing how particular works were translated from one language to another, but in exploring how coterminous traditions dealt with similar tropes, such as gardens, magical hags, giants, and so forth. In the process, she explores some well-known medieval works like Sir Orfeo and Marie de France's Lays, but she puts these into dialogue with a host of fairly obscure Norse sagas from the old days, as they were called. In all these cases, she reveals how the traditions draw on what might be considered baseline characteristics of romance, but also inflect them according to indigenous rhetorical habits. And so Old Norse loathly ladies share something both with the hag from Chaucer's Wife of Bath's tale, but also with a host of giantesses that inhabit Norse sagas and Eddas. Further, and what makes her work far more than simply a source study, she demonstrates how traditional elements mediated larger medieval concerns with, for example, female sexuality, unregulated space, and so forth. For her future research, she plans to delve into feminist eco-criticism, and the insights of that school of thought will enhance her study of natural environments that are equal parts terrifying and otherworldly. Maj-Britt, I'd like to close by saying that in the many academic situations I have known you, you have always been an exceptionally hard, motivated, and talented worker. I have genuinely enjoyed working with you and sharing your enthusiasm for medieval Scandinavia. You have made a very positive mark on medieval studies here at Notre Dame, and I'm sorry to see you go. Good luck in everything that lies ahead.